It's Fay and Fluffy Storytime. This is them, and that's Fluffy, that's Fay. Fay and Fluffy.
Kids are a great audience. They're a lot of fun. They've got real honest questions, and you just have to answer them truthfully and honestly. But it is amazing to see that children as young as 4 and 5 years of age already have an idea of gender roles. But the minute that you say to them, oh yeah, it's just clothing, it's just a color, it's just a toy, it's for everybody. They're like, cool. My name is Paul Kane, and my drag name is Fay Slift, the Lady Bear Extraordinaire.
My name is Kaleb Robertson, and my drag name is Fluffy Soufflé, and I live in Toronto.
I became aware of drag, I think, initially with knowing about Divine, and also with sort of seeing like Liberace as a kid, which is in itself a type of drag. It's certainly camp.
I first started doing drag as a kid. I always wanted to dress up for Halloween, and so I was often dressed as a skater boy, a man, any generic kind of masculine things because I was a girl.
I started off just really thinking it was going to be a one-off. I would pick out music, and then the music would sort of inspire the look I would want to go for. And then through time I started like sharing that with my students because I'm also a school teacher. And so the kids would always be fascinated because I would come back from a weekend shaved in the face, and they'd be, why do you have so much skin on your face? I'd be like, well, I was performing. And what do you mean you were performing? I said, well, I was performing as a drag character called Fay Slift. And they were like, what is drag?
When I moved from Vancouver to Victoria, I discovered the world of drag. It just felt right. Those were the characters that I wanted to be. And it was the first time that I, did drag and said, I actually really like to be referred to as a boy.
When did you start doing Storytime?
It's 3.5 years. The very first one happened in conjunction with Pride in 2016. I had seen a short little news segment on it. The very first one happened in San Francisco. And as soon as I was watching it, I thought, oh my gosh, this is like the perfect coming together of, working with kids and wanting to do performance and love reading. I had done my specialist at Oise in reading. And so I reached out to Kaleb and to Michael Erickson, who runs Glad Day Bookshop. And he was able to put this together with several authors of children's books.
Please welcome Fay and Fluffy!
Wow! Good morning! Can you believe it? I apologize in advance. I forgot to get dressed up for this. So.
Fay, you're lovely.
Fluffy, you're lovely. Lovely by Jess Hong.
What is lovely?
Lovely is different. Lovely is you. Lovely is us.
Oh, nobody takes this as a tutorial on how to do makeup. People are gonna read me to filth for how terrible I am. That's why I like children. They don't judge.
My day job is a teacher. Many of the kids have actually come to Storytime, and initially their reactions are kind of like, you look silly or you look funny. And then other kids will correct them and say, Mr. Kane looks really beautiful, or he looks really, really pretty. And some of them will ask questions like, why are you wearing a girl's dress? Which then initiates that whole conversation about, well, actually, it's not a girl's dress, it's my dress. Well, why are you wearing a dress? And I'm like, well, look at that dress. It's beautiful, it's colorful, it's sparkly. don't you think like that's the reason why I would wear the dress? And they come around to it really easily and quickly. That's the thing that's amazing about kids, is that kids can see through bullshit. Like, they can see if you are a genuine human being. You show them kindness and it's consistent and you validate who they are are totally there for you.
Fay and Fluffy are important because they're boys, but they're actually dressing up as girls. But there's no such thing as boy clothes and girl clothes.
I love them. They're really, like, I just like drag in general, so like their outfits are stunning. Everything, like the wigs, the makeup, the outfit, or else all just like beautiful.
Something that we've said over the years, I always want to fight for the most marginalized people of our community. I recognize very much that I'm a white, masculine person. And so our fights have always been about, you know, the marginalized people, like especially trans women of color especially, and kids. And since our focus is about kids, it's, you know, they're the ones that need protecting, and I don't want kids to grow up and feel like they weren't loved.
I hope that they learn that not everything about being a queer person is bleak and morbid and sad and lonely, because that was the narrative I grew up with. I hope that they see that if that's who they are, if that's who they embrace in themselves, even if it's not, that they can look at me and see there's somebody who I know cared about me. There's somebody who is still finding ways to be a creative person in the world. There's somebody who really loves what he does. They inspire me all the time, and they accept me for who I am. So that's a great thing.
Regardless of what happens with Fay and Fluffy or with Kaleb and JP, this has been one of the most incredible things in my life. And I don't think that I've ever experienced something that has been equally heartwarming and giving and amazing, and has also been one of the most challenging things in my life in terms of putting ourselves out there, and in terms of the internet and so many people out there hating on what we do, attacking us as people, attacking me for being trans, attacking us for working with kids. For people to attack that and put such a disgusting negative spin on our relationships with kids really cuts deep. It's really hard. I think that we're both very sensitive people, which can be hard. I think that we both have big feelings, and which is why sometimes some of the negative stuff is hard on both of us.
Yeah. I'm so grateful that we get to do this together, and that I want you to know that even when all this hard shit happens and these horrible things are said about you or me, that I'm here for you and that you're not alone in this.
Ditto.
I think that's really important for kids to know too, is that we're here for them, we're here for their families, we're here to support them and to try and, you know, not necessarily protect, but to say that you're going to be meeting a lot of adversity and challenges with being authentically true, because that in itself is an act of resistance, and that's a terrifying thing for a lot of people, but you're not fucking alone. Like, you're not alone in that at all.